situation you don't realize. So let's examine with a critical eye. Put on your glasses and let it magnify the truth that lies hidden under all those lies. Cause everybody has nobility, and if you look beyond what your eyes can see, you'll see they're just like you and me, and that was giving you the remedy. Welcome to the Remedy Podcast. This podcast is a project of WEBB Squared, a North Carolina nonprofit that works to increase wealth for Black businesses through connection, network, and opportunity. Our host is Stephanie Terry, the Executive Director of WEBB Squared, and our co-hosts are Associate Director Rinnie and myself, Mashallah Salaam. I am the Media and Production Specialist. In this podcast, we hope to bring consciousness to the racial divide and speak on emerging new narratives about race. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you will enjoy the podcast.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Good morning. It's Podcast Tuesday. How's everyone doing today?
It is Podcast Tuesday.
Go, Stephanie.
I got some energy. I got some energy. Look, in these times, the test came back negative. It's negative.
Congratulations.
Michael got tested. Yeah, he's
fine. I was reading today that we're all going to get this Omicron variant. It's like the common cold that we can't like put it off. At some point we're going to get it.
Yeah, this is the world that we live in. So listen, what y'all do this weekend?
I helped organize a group of 3 other youth, so it was the 4 of us, and we talked about issues regarding race relations and friendships and relationships, and if we discuss race in our friendships, and how we can work together with elders, like bringing youth and elders together to combat these issues, and how we can best bridge the gap between those 2 groups, and just throughout different backgrounds, and how we can all come together.
Beautiful, beautiful. We had the grandkids this weekend.
And how many?
Yeah,
just 2. We had 2 of Michael's grandchildren. So I forgot that I play with kids a lot. They like to hang out with me. I get real silly.
Are they the ones that I met?
You met Dana, but I don't think you met little Corey. And yeah.
Don't you have 2 grandkids named Corey?
Yeah, so Michael and I have this weird thing. So he's got a grandson named Corey, and so do I. And he has a grandson named Jalen, and so do I. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was fun. Of course, when they left this morning, the couch was kind of not broken, but just, it's just kids. I need to vacuum. Stuff's missing. It's kids.
Were they jumping on the couch? Oh.
I think while we were asleep.
Whoa.
Kids do that. I had 3 girls in my house over Saturday night.
Yeah.
They wanted to come hang out, have it overnight, and play with the kitten. And I finally, about 9:30, said, I'm going to bed. And when I woke up the next morning, I said, how late did you guys stay? I said, we watched 3 movies after you went to bed. Even that's quite late. I'm like, okay, well, whatever.
So listen, listeners, I have to tell you this. I'm sorry, but Mashallah, if you could tell by her voice, she's really beautiful. And today, I mean, Mashallah, just go ahead and turn your camera off.
I took my hair down specifically so I could have it on.
She looks stunning. And I just like, wow, Mashallah, I can't take my eyes off of you. And I guess, this would have been a good one to record, because we're all sitting here smiling and full of energy, and, but Mashallah is our little young Southern Belle over here.
Oh, thank you.
So, but Rinnie, we okay. Rinnie and I are chilling. We are chilling. So now look, what are we talking about today?
Well, we are onboarding 19 entrepreneurs into our WEBB Squared program. And one of the things that we are going to be doing with them is providing mindset trainings, entrepreneurial, powerful mindset workshops and trainings. And Stephanie, you were going to give us a taste of what the training would look like so that people will know what we're doing, like how that will emerge.
Yeah, I don't know if it was gonna I don't think I'm gonna take you through a training, but I think I was gonna do a deep dive. And I'll tell you, I didn't tell you this. Michael and I, we were listening to podcasts this weekend.
Oh, did you listen to anything you like?
Well, yeah. So my husband is on this police detective kick, FBI kick thing. So he loves listening to, cold cases solved and, So we were listening to a podcast about a person that is in jail that says he's innocent. So we were listening to that. And then we listened to, I forgot what the other podcast was. Anyway, but it just made me think about it. You cut this part out, Mashallah, but it just had me thinking about our podcast. I was like, podcasts are actually fun to listen to.
That's what I've been saying. This is why we're doing a podcast, because people
I didn't realize that.
We've been doing the podcast for how long?
Since August.
We've been doing the podcast, but I never really listened to podcasts.
Mashallah, I want you to keep this in the podcast. I want people to hear this.
So maybe we should have a more, should we insert some mystery or something in here?
Mystery.
We can add some mystery.
Like what happened next?
We can add some mystery. I'll think about it. As your creative director, I'll think about it and we'll see what kind of mystery we add to our podcast.
Yeah, because when we were listening to the podcast, they had commercial breaks. I was like, oh, wait, or somebody called and I was like, wait, pause it so we don't miss anything. I wonder if, I don't know if our podcast sounds like that.
Well, our podcast sounds pretty great. I mean, Mashallah does such a great job of editing and everything. And
yes, you do, Mashallah.
And for what we're doing, and the reason why we have a podcast, I think we're the bomb. And it's just a matter of having our listeners tell people that, hey, I'm listening to this fantastic podcast, and liking and sharing and leaving reviews and all that stuff. That's what's going to put us on the map.
Yeah, and we've gotten good reviews. And my sister, she really likes the podcast. She says it's interesting. So
okay. Well, I believe it. So just so here's the deal. What is? Oh, I was sharing this quote in another meeting, and I butchered the quote, but it goes something like this: if somebody gave me 8 hours to chop down a tree, I would use 7 hours and 30 minutes sharpening the axe, and then 30 minutes to chop down a tree. Now, I think that's attached to some president or something. Somebody, Lincoln or Washington, it's not apple trees. Somebody said that. But you get the point is that the more powerful actions happen when you're prepared for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the longer the lever, the more weight that you can pull, right? So it's just so our WEBB Squared programs are about, it's not so much just about doing the action, but really sharpening our decision making, our centers of power and agency in our minds, those intrinsic internal tools, so that when we do act, we act with power. And so that's I can't wait till our first training. I don't even know. I've been trying to figure out, okay, where are we going to start? So it'll probably be a framing, but that's what our mindset trainings are about. And why do you think we're choosing to start with our mindsets and not our behaviors?
Because our beliefs and our mindset influence our behaviors. and they drive why we make the decisions and why we do the actions that we do. And some of those beliefs are so deeply rooted into us because of the programming and conditioning that we had during our childhood and, you know, growing up in society and stuff, that we don't even know what they are. And so we're just reacting to life and circumstances rather than what's the opposite of reacting?
Proactive. Proactive. Yeah.
Proactively, like, you know, moving through situations.
Yeah. Awesome. Rinnie, Mashallah, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with what Rinnie said about how our mindset really affects how we react to things, our actions. So I think that you do have to start with what you think about yourself and what you believe you can do before you can really get to working on the actual thing.
You got it. Yep, that's it right there. All of those things. And our, you know, the thoughts that we think, the beliefs that we have, or we don't even know we have, it even goes deeper. Those things inform like who we even say we are, right? They really form our identity. And so we've been talking, you know, I want to say in circles around identity, coming at identity in all kinds of ways, but like really just kind of emerging some new narratives around who we say we are and what we say we believe, and why we say we believe is where the work is going to start. Because both of you said that, like, you know, it happens so fast that we don't realize what comes first. You know, is it a thought informing a feeling, or do you have a feeling that is informing a thought? Did something just happen that's making you think and do something? Like, it just, you know, and it's just so fast, and that you can't even, like, you don't even realize that there's space between all of those things. And so we want to just kind of like take some time to understand these mechanisms, what it means to be a human being, you know, thoughts, feelings, actions, identity, and understand, you know, how quickly our mind processes things and feelings, and to see if we can regain some understanding and control, so that we can actually begin to be attracted to and produce the things that we want, instead of just like this, you know, hodgepodge of happenstance and, oh, I was in the wrong place in the wrong time, or, you know, making a decision, a reaction-based decision versus a proactive decision, and being able to create space for creativity and new perspectives. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we're gonna turn into our own little psychologists. We are, except go ahead, Rinnie.
Can you talk a little bit about some of the framework that you're going to be using, like what sources you're going to be drawing from in this process?
Yes. So, of course, I am an avid reader, and one of my superpowers is being able to read, digest, and share out things that I've read. So I've been doing, first off, this work started long before WEBB Squared, and it started with just me, like my own life. But, you know, there's some books. There's a book called The Psychology of Money. There's a book called Power versus Force. There's a book called The Psychology of Self-Esteem. There's a book called The Spontaneous Healing of Belief. There's a book called Recapturing the African Mind. There's a book called Heal Your Relationship with Money. There's a book called Radical Forgiveness. There's Atomic Habits, Designing the Mind. It's just awesome, of people that have like really took the time to understand what it means to be a human being. How do our human faculties work? You know, what makes up our identity? How is it informed? And how can we redress some of these mechanisms so that we can have more happier and successful lives? So that's what these trainings are going to be delving into. And here's the thing, we're going to learn from each other, right?
Yes, we've been doing that for the last year, so we're going to continue doing that.
Yep. WEBB Squared is committed to stay we are a learning organization.
Yes.
That means that we have values that are our like guiding North Star, right? Mm-hmm. They are our principles, you know, and those values can be expressed in all kinds of ways. You know, we'll have different strategies and different tactics, and we'll, you know, have different dialogues and conversations, but we'll never lose sight of our values, you know, never, because that forms the basis of our organizational identity, like our values and how those values are practiced in our relationships with our entrepreneurs, each other in our community, and in the policies and the procedures and the way that we actually do our work. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're going to be doing. And honestly, if we're successful at it, hopefully it'll be like a lifelong commitment of just constant growing and expanding on some of these core concepts. So hopefully it'll become valuable to you, Mashallah, and to you, Rinnie, so that we can just continue to improve it.
Mm-hmm. I like how not only are we going to be challenging the entrepreneurs in our program, but you and I have talked quite extensively about how we're going to be challenging ourselves as well. I mean, we're not just going to be saying, this is what you've got to do. We're going to be walking the walk for ourselves and our own behaviors and our own identity and our own, you know, proactivity versus reactivity as much as we can in this process as well.
Yeah. You remember that old saying, practice what you preach? You heard that before, Mashallah?
Yeah.
We're going to be practicing what we preach. And, you know, and this is healing work too. You know, we're going to be healing. We're there's a book called Critical Conversations, and it talks about how you ever go to a meeting and there's like a trainer or a facilitator or whoever, or some manager standing there, and when the time comes for people to talk, maybe one or two people will share, and then most of the people are quiet. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right? And so when that happens, what do you think is going on when that happens? What do you think is going on with the people that are quiet when that happens?
Maybe they feel like the conversation is being taken over by those who are more vocal, and they don't feel confident enough to speak because they feel like they don't have a chance to.
What else, Rinnie?
Well, as someone who's probably been in that position for a lot of my life, I think sometimes it's like, I sometimes get so wrapped up in the conversation that I forget to think about what's being said. And so I don't feel like I have a response in the moment. I kind of will take things home and process them on my own versus like having an immediate thought at the moment.
What are some other things you think it happens?
They might be afraid that whatever they say might be wrong, even if there aren't any wrong answers per se. They still might have that fear. You know, it may be that maybe they don't agree with what is being said, but they don't want to appear like they're not a part of the team, you know, and so they keep it. Yeah, they don't want to be confrontational, or they want to keep it to themselves. You know, they may not want to challenge the person that is giving out the information for a lot of reasons. Maybe they don't want to expose how they really feel because they feel like it won't be accepted or maybe judged. Like, so there's all these things. But what happens when that happens? Something happens when, for all of the reasons that we just shared, and probably a lot more, when people don't feel safe enough, and it may be that they're not safe enough, or want to offer their perspectives. What happens when that happens? Well, you aren't hearing all the perspectives.
Yeah.
and the people who weren't able to speak might drift away.
Yeah. So there's a lot of like, first off, being able to like listen and understand someone's perspective, different perspective, is huge. It's huge, because somewhere in there is something that you didn't know, or there's just some wisdom in there, or even if it's completely opposite, it's like a whole different way of looking at something. And there's just always something that you can learn. And that's the point. When we hold back from sharing our perspectives, we hold back from the opportunity to like really understand someone else and to learn something, And so we when we say we want to be a learning organization, we want to make sure that we develop a culture at WEBB Squared where people feel safe to talk, as Corinda so eloquently puts it, in rough draft. and no, you don't have to have the right answers. No, you don't have to have the wrong. You just have an answer. We don't have to judge what the answer is, But we want to know. We want to know what you think, how you feeling. We want to know, because we learn and grow from that. So I'm hoping that we figure out how to do that, Rinnie.
I'm sure we're on the path to figuring that out. I think I'm so excited about these trainings and workshops. I'm just on, we were talking about mystery a little bit earlier in the podcast. I can't wait to see how you put all this together. I mean, you've been talking for like a year now what these like powerful mindset trainings will look like. And I'm on pins and needles waiting to find out.
Waiting to find out too. I want to see it too. Oh my gosh.
I have a question. These mindset trainings, is it a combination of one-on-one and group work, or will it, specifically for the mindset training, will it just be one-on-one?
So I think it's a both and. So the mindset trainings will happen every fourth Saturday. Is that right, Rinnie? Of the month, and that'll be in a group setting online. But some of the principles and areas to study and reflect on, that'll be happening in coaching spaces also. So it'll be both one-on-one but the actual principles and points to deepen, that'll happen in a group setting. So yeah, I'm excited about it also. Like, we're all case studies. Mashallah, you're a case study, I'm a case study. Because we all have, I'm assuming that we all have things that we want to improve. I know I do. And so we're going to see if we can have an analysis and share some tools that help us to improve our situations.
Will there be a training on how to not allow things from our personal life affect our work life, like our business, how to manage that?
No.
But we can, but Mashallah, we can talk about that personally on one-on-one coaching. That's what we're here for.
But I said no in general because there's no such thing as a personal life and a professional. It's a life. And I'm so glad you brought that up, Mashallah, because here's what we're not going to be doing. We're not going to be, because it goes against our values. So we're not going to be siloing, like, well, you put this face on to do this and you put this face on to do that. And in order to be successful, you got to work 80, 90 hours per week. And you got to, work hard and be stressed out. Like, no, we're not doing that. No. You're not going to we're not teaching you any of the tried and true, well-known and techniques to either oppress people or oppress yourself in the workspace. It's not happening because, we always talking about race. we will not be maintaining any type of white supremacy culture and ways of working. We're not doing that. There's other ways to do stuff and to think about stuff. So that are balanced, that take into account the success of more than just making a profit and making money, right? That, take into account your mental well-being, your emotional well-being, your spiritual well-being, the relationship that you have, not just with your business, but with yourself, with your family, with your loved ones, with your friends. So that's the goal. And some of this is, we're going to figure out together, we're going to figure it out together, but we will make room for the mystery of life also to help guide us. And I call it the voice of God sometimes we're going to make space for that to happen as well. Yeah. So there's some emotional work, and that won't be in the group. That'll be one-on-one, like Rinnie said.
Mm-hmm. I'm just really excited that I finally, get to use all the coaching skills that I took a course for 6 months, and then it's a year and a half later and I haven't used them yet. So yeah. I'm really excited that I actually finally get to start coaching, and I'm very happy about this part of the job.
I am too. Have you meeting with the entrepreneurs? Oh my gosh, hasn't it been amazing?
Yeah, we've had 5 or 6 meetings now. So yeah, I can't wait to bring everybody together in a group, and then just start working with people.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all met them already? Through
one-on-one.
We're going through the list, and you'll get a call soon about when we can set up a one-on-one with you, and we're just making our way through the list.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the 31st, everybody will be together on a Zoom. So y'all get to look like the Brady Bunch. Yeah. Look at each other. Look down. Remember the Brady? Mashallah, you don't know the Brady Bunch, do you?
I do.
They have their little.
A lot about older shows, actually. They
had their little Zoom boxes across the screen.
Hey, they were on to something way back then. So, anyway, ladies, I know we've got busy days today. I've got ballet. I told y'all I'm taking ballet serious this year.
Yeah, are y'all gonna have another recital?
Look at her face.
No, I'm taking serious in rehearsal. I'm not even thinking about no recital. I'll just really try to actually, instead of doing a 30% point, trying to kick it up to at least 50 with some effort and energy.
Well, have fun with your ballet. Have a good time. Mashallah, I think this is a wrap. Do you want to close this out?
Well, thank you for listening. And as always, the revolution begins with dialogue.
Whoop, whoop.
This has been a joint podcast of WEBB Squared and Afro Future Productions. For those of you interested in learning more about our work at WEBB Squared, you can find out more at webbsquared.org. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. This is our conscious conversation. We hope you will subscribe today on your favorite podcast platform. Join the Remedy Membership Forum on Patreon to join us monthly for our members-only discussion. That's it for today. Until next week, thanks for listening. What's underneath the situation you don't realize? So let's examine with a critical eye. Put on your glasses and let it magnify the truth that lies hidden under all those lies. Cause everybody has no business